Okay, I'm going to make another response here to Stardusk, and then hopefully we will be able to put this little flare-up to rest with no lasting hard feelings. Stardusk, I appreciate your kind words and your clarifications, as well as your acknowledgement that your video was made under less than optimal conditions and that perhaps you didn't articulate things as succinctly as is your normal style. I appreciate that level of honesty and respect you for it. I also want to clarify that even though you do not call yourself an MRA, I do consider you to be an activist for men and a good one. To me, anyone who dedicates the kind of work that you do is an activist. My choice to say that you are not an activist was based only on your saying as much, but it was an unnecessary dig for which I apologize. It was also a bit of an emotional reaction on my part that has nothing to do with you. Most of the people commenting about what you or I should do, what AVFM should or should not be, are not activists. They are pissed off guys, most with good reason to be pissed off, but they are not people who are turning their anger into any work on behalf of their fellows. They are just venting, and at times trying to control the work of others when they are not producing any work of their own. It is one of my greatest frustrations with this arena, but it should not have been projected onto you. Moving on, I have to maintain that what I heard in that video was a criticism, and a fair one, I think, of what Fiddlebogan had to say in the interview. But then you immediately contrasted that to my earlier videos on this channel. I really think that fostered the misunderstanding. I just did not see the purpose in contrasting my work with Fiddlebogan's, and then inferring, at least tacitly, that this was indicative of an altered path by me or AVFM as a whole. But I won't beat that point into the ground any more than I already have. Now, there's not a whole lot else for me to react to. What I will opt to do with the rest of this response is address the common ground you and I have that has been swallowed up by this conflict. AVFM will always welcome articles and other material designed to educate men about hypergamy and informing them of the devastating consequences that ignorance of the subject can wreak on their lives. To this end, I completely disagree with Fiddlebogan, vehemently, even though I remain a great admirer of his skills with rhetoric. To the matter of women having access to the AVFM podium, this will continue and hopefully expand. But as with men, they will have to be women who can handle the message. And that message will often be an unvarnished look at what we have socialized women to become in this culture, which is nothing less than infants entitled to a male-financed and state-distributed pacifier that they can suck on for the duration of their permanent childhood. Women that can't handle that are welcome to find the door. But it will also be said that when they do find it, they will find themselves at the exit next to men who can't handle the fact that women who can speak intelligently to this subject will be allowed to stay and contribute. In my mind, this movement is hindered by both men and women who cannot rise above rote programming. Most all women are not girl rights what, for sure. Then again, how many men are Stardusk? The answer is a pitiably fractional proportion on both sides of the sexual fence. We are the few, and the blue pill world is the great majority. Pretending that the average man's ideas are any more serviceable to the men's movement than the average woman's is and can only be a delusion driven by ignorance and emotion. To conclude this matter, at least my end of it, I want to thank you for raising the questions you did. And I want to send out a specific thank you to those who asked me to spend time returning to making videos for YouTube. If anything else, both things ended up being productive. Time is a precious commodity for me these days. I am always in a jam for it, but that is not whining because it is what I had hoped for when I started. I'll be coming back soon after I resolve these microphone problems I'm having and make some videos, probably some Dr. Paul material. That is a promise to the nearly 6,000 people that have honored me with subscribing here. In the meantime, Stardusk, I wish you well and hope to see you continue the fine work you do on behalf of men and boys.